St. Mary's. Me and Drizzy back to back, it's getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Justin Terry. Whoa.
Let's get it, let's get it. The Faison View podcast, you already know, man. The host with the most here. Hey, your boy, Faison. Faison View podcast, co-host my brother, man.
How y'all doing, man? What's going on?
As you already know, man, Hugh, we in the building, bro. We in the building. It's a real good agenda we got today. So let's get straight into it. But as you know, before let's get straight into it, you got Color Power, you got Game Shift, and you got the Faison View podcast. Make sure you go cop merch on all of those, man. So let's take it a step further with this agenda today, man. All right, so what we got on our plate, one must go. So you got laughter, compromise, consistency, or support. Which one goes, man? Which one stays? Next, man, Herbo new album 25 review. We're not going to just delve into the whole album, but I just really want to talk about the impact of Herbo and him getting his flowers and respect. And next, man, it's been hitting the waves. Sha'carri Richardson, man, commits the Olympics after testing positive for marijuana, but now she has it. The update now she has. Okay, she won't be participating, so we get into that. Master P son Percy Miller signs $2 million deal after the NCAA changed their rules. Okay, so monumental. Which is the most challenging to you about adulthood? I feel like this is gonna be the best question, man. What is the most challenge to you about adulthood? Time management or money management? Okay, so I feel like that's very hard to delve into. So lastly, as you already know, would you rather? Would you rather relive the same day, 365 days a year? You want to live the same day or lose 2 years of your life? So those are some good ones right there. There's some good ones, man. So brethren, man, the agenda, man. So first, like we said, one must go. Let's talk about it. Laughter, which is very important. Compromise, which is very important. Consistency, which is very important. Support, which is all of these are very, very important within life. Without laughter, like honestly,
that's definitely
that's not going anywhere. You'll be miserable. You'll be miserable. With compromise, that's what you need just in general, no matter what. You know, like you have a business, I have a business. It's all about compromise. You know, you have game shift. Maybe at all times, maybe you don't agree on everything, but it has to be a compromise of what you overall want. Of relationships, that goes with parents, that goes with everything in life is compromise. Consistency.
That's my pick.
That's the one.
That's my pick.
Support, and lastly is support. So if you saying one must go, you say consistency?
Yeah, only because it's like everything else is more important to me. I think because like I don't know, there was a point in my life where like just things just weren't consistent. Like my friends weren't consistent, and relationships weren't consistent, and just things weren't consistent. And it's like, yeah, that sucks, but it was a period, and I'm still kind of in that phase. But it was a period in my life that I've done before. I think I could do it again, but I definitely couldn't live without laughter and a lack of compromise. And I definitely like men need support. Like that's not like a one thing. Men need support. Like that's a lot of things. I'm gonna get too deep, but I think that's something that most women fail at realizing today. Like men need support and they need permission to fail. Like you got to give your man permission to fail. Like you can't, tell him he can't do something and then when he can't do it, berate him for it. You gotta, if like you'd be surprised how much like dopamine goes to your man. Like let's say like I'm married and we got a kid and I got this crib and it's like, dang, I don't know how to put this together. I might have to pay somebody to put this together. If my wife was like, oh babe, you could put this together easy, I would be like, you know what, you're right, I can put this together. Where's my hammer at? Like you will be surprised how much dopamine will go through your man's body the moment you say something like that. And if I can't put it together, that's when you would go, oh, this is all right, babe, we should try it. You know what I'm saying? Like men need support. We need that. We need permission to fail. So I definitely couldn't live without support. So I'm gonna go with consistency.
I like that one. I like how you broke it down too. But one thing I will say to like play devil advocate a little bit, without consistency, you really don't have, you have support, but how will it be consistent? Because you can just get support Like this one time and then it just be off the next time. So honestly, this might be the hardest one, but I would say, I don't want to sit here and say that, but I would say support because you need to be consistent in order to do anything on this list. Honestly, even with laughter, you know, if you're not having, of course it goes both ways because people don't understand that you need to be vulnerable and have an emotional side too, and actually cry. Those things are actually very important. But laughter is very important, but it's just the consistency with all of them. Consistency with compromising, consistency with supporting others, consistency with your laughter, your sense of humor. You know, so I feel like consistency has to stay on my list. Laughter, compromise, they can stay as well. But support, like you said, it goes without saying. It goes without saying with support because we all need support, no matter who you are. But if it's not consistent support, then it's not. It's gonna make you feel, maybe make you feel it some type of way. Because like you said, you can have your girl be like, oh yeah, let's get it, and then the next time she's like, well, I don't care about this. So it's like, you know, and it goes both ways with being consistent as a man, being consistent with your woman as well. And no matter how it goes, support. So I'll say I'll leave support out of this one. That's a tough one. That was actually a good breakdown. I like that one, man. Oh man. So for this new album, man, moving forward, this new album, 25, Gherbo, man, I'm a real big Gherbo fan. Like real big Gherbo fan, man. From Strictly Fans to Humble Beast to Welcome to Faison Land to Ballin' Like I'm Kobe to PTSD and to now. Like I've been a real huge Gherbo fan, and honestly with this album, he really hit every pocket with this album. I like to see a rapper's growth more than anything, you know, because there's a lot of people that just come out the gate hot, but also you don't see them, like the word we just said, be consistent within their work. You see a lot of change and ripple within their work. So I would say definitely this 25 album was very monumental, man, and I like that he's actually receiving the credit for this album. Because top to bottom, it's a flawless album, and I like what Gherbo talks about. He's not just talking about, or in the sense of just shooting and killing. It's more so a story behind it. Just like we look into Meek Mill, Dream Chasers 2, a monumental time in our life. Right. It's a story. It's not the fact that he's just going and pointing out certain things that he is negative. It's a story in which he's saying. And I feel like this might be very high praise. I feel like Gherbo has that when we said, like, he has that Jay-Z type of feel. I'm not trying to say he's Jay-Z. I'm talking about in the way he's talking his talk. He reminds you of the older artists like Styles P, like Jada, like Fabulous, like those type of artists. But he brings it into a different world. And also, you know, him being in the drill area, in the drill, you know, the drill time, he started off drill, but he's not been a drill artist. He's not a drill artist, in my opinion, because you start off with Chirac and Kill this, but from where he has come now in PTSD, I feel like that was a monumental, iconic, classic album to me because what it's embodying and what he's saying. So, with much respect to Gherbo, man.
Yeah, I don't have much here because I'm not a Gherbo fan. I'm not a hater. I think I heard Gherbo the first time, the same time everyone else heard Gherbo, which is on the Nicki Chirac song. Mm-hmm. And then like there's a lot of stuff where he just wasn't rapping on beat. And it's like sometimes like there's a skill to doing that. But for me, when I was listening to him, it was just like, okay, this doesn't sound very skillful. You're just missing the beat. But I mean, I haven't heard that lately. So like I said, he probably has grown. So I definitely do want to tap into this new album because I'm seeing a lot of high praise. I love when music. I'm lazy sometimes. When it comes to music, I love when music comes to me. When it comes to me, and I have to go looking for it. That's how I know it's good. Like, so just seeing all this high praise of this new Gherbo just lets me know, okay, this is something I got to tap into. So I definitely want to play it and hear it. But Gherbo's always been spoken highly of. I know everyone I know listens to Gherbo. So there's something to be said about that. So, you know, I hope he continues to grow and I hope he continues to get his flowers, even if it comes a little later. But yeah, man. That's all I got.
Sure. And then what I really love, the Cold World song, man, with your song with his son, you know, it just hits you differently. And then just the dialogue, and I understand my brother didn't listen to it, but he likes real music regardless of anything, and the messaging and content within the music. And I feel like this content was bar none. You know, having your son in the song, really just talking to you. You have no jail time and what he's talking about within each of these songs. it's really, really different, man. It's a different feel, man. It's something that we all need to hear as people, because it's bringing people together, and also it's not just the oh yeah, well, I'm just talking about the drill and just talking about the streets. It's actually a story with meaning behind it. So much respect to G Herbo. I felt like I needed to give him his flowers, because just like you said, you know, he has this such of a stigma. Yeah, he raps on beat, da da da, into the point where you missing what he's saying. You know, and a lot of times. So he bodied this one. So on to the big topic, man. This is the biggest topic of the week. It's been going viral, man. Sha'carri Richardson, she could miss. No, actually, she is missing the Olympics after testing positive for marijuana, man. It's the rules are the rules, of course, but in my opinion, D-Wade made the best point. You have people out here now the world on marijuana, and people are up to, you know, really up to date on really what it is, what it can do, CBD, other things, and how it can help you, and how it can improve upon your immune system. You have people who are chastised and are in jail, and now you have people that were against marijuana monetizing and profiting off of it, and people probably that are backing in it or funding or putting money into the Olympics, or maybe a part of the Olympics, have some type of stake into marijuana or CBD and that industry. So it's like, the fact of the matter is that the world is changing, and yes, the rules are the rules, but out of all things, this woman ran a 10-6. And you're telling me she tested positive for marijuana. That speaks to how great she is as a talent. I'm just being honest, because you have such a negative connotation behind marijuana, but it helps a lot of people as well. And whoever said it was a bad thing, I feel like we have, through the history of time, not us, I'm just saying the history of time has chastised marijuana in the sense of it makes you lazy or it has some type of thing, but also it is helpful. It's actually a plant. It's actually something that grows and actually can help people. Everybody that you see right now is using body cream, lotion, CBD, all these type of things. And you have a lot of NBA players, a lot of players in general who have came out after their careers were over and just be like, that helped me perform better. Yes, the rules are the rules. I'm not saying don't, you know what I'm saying, that she shouldn't miss it. But also I feel like we should take into account of what the world is today.
Yeah, my counter to that is that, you know, it's not about like how America feels. You know, this is the Olympics.
Correct.
You know, so it's like
Tokyo.
I get how everybody's saying, like, we all these companies, like, it ain't about them, bro. It's the Olympics. You know, it's they rule. So for me, this was sad, but you know, it's like you gotta bite the bullet, which is why I respect her, because she, you know, she ate it, and you gotta eat it. For me, my biggest thing I was upset with, it was too many people online blaming the rule instead of blaming the individual, and it's just like, hold on, like, so like for me, because I have a lot to say, and I'll try to get through it quick. So for me, like, I think everyone needs to know this, but mostly black folks. There's fair and there's reality. And you gotta teach your kids that, especially if they're black. Like, is it fair that, you know, when police pull white folks over, they get to wave their arms and cuss them out, and if I do it, I could possibly get shot? No, that isn't fair. It's very unfair. But the reality is that could happen to me. So I need to be 10 and 2. I need to ask permission before going to my glove box. My dad constantly reminded me, Hugh, don't drive with the hoodie on. And is it fair that I should have to worry about driving with my hoodie on? No, it's not fair. But the reality is, it could get me into trouble, so I gotta drive with my hoodie off. And so it's like, yeah, the rule is not fair, but the reality is that rule has been in place long before she's been alive, longer than I've been alive. You know, I'm pretty sure she knew she was gonna get tested. It wasn't a surprise drug test. They test all the athletes, they give you a date. You know, she knew it was coming. It's a shame she didn't have any folks to tell her, hey, look, I know your mom died, but Sha'carri, you can't do this. You can't do this. She probably had friends sitting there rolling up with her, and now they're the same people wanna, like, fam, you should have been there and told her not to do that. And it's like, yeah, I get that her mom died, and I don't endorse drugs, but you know, just the thought of my mother dying and finding out that way, I don't know what I would do. I'm not here to tell anybody how to grieve. I don't know what I would do.
How she found out.
Yeah, and I'll probably lose my mind. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you how to grieve. But at the same time, you still, like, the world keeps going. You got to keep moving on. There are so many people on the street. My dad tells me about so many guys he grew up with who living on the street because somebody in their life died. They just couldn't move on. And it's like, yo, like, yeah, your job will give you give you a time to grieve. But yo, the mortgage people ain't give you. They still want their mortgage. IRS still want their bill. You still life got to keep going. So you still have this accomplishment that you want to make sure you do. You can smoke after. And the last thing I'll say is is like, I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes black folks, we can be hypocritical, man. Cause like my biggest thing with racism is like it gets glossed over. White folks don't get held accountable for their stuff. It gets glossed over a lot. Lately, we've been seeing people hold people accountable, and that's great. But a lot of times, it just gets glossed over, and that's why it's remained in this country. For example, like when they did the Civil War to free the slaves, all those guys in the North that fought, they were supposed to go to jail, and they didn't. Even all the guys that conspired to kill Lincoln, they only got a couple of those guys. They didn't get all of them. So it's like you have a history of glossing over this whole thing and not making people hold up to their responsibilities. And now here we are, y'all talking about y'all want to boycott the Olympics, and it's like, yo, like, for what? She chose to break the rule, and you want us to, she has to be held accountable for that. And like for me, like I can't really be mad at the Olympics because it's like they've been very consistent with this rule with everybody. Like Michael Phelps is arguably the greatest Olympian of all time, and she's been treated far better than him. Like which is what we should be happy with. Like we should be happy about that because I would expect her to get dragged through the mud. I would expect this to be a whole lot worse. She only got to spend 1 month for actually testing. Michael Phelps got caught with a picture. He got to spend 6 months after the Olympics, but it was 6 months. She's been receiving nothing but support from the media and people on Twitter. I'm not saying there's not bad and negative thing, but there's way more praise and support of her than there are negativity. Michael Phelps got treated like a fiend. He didn't even test. He just got caught with a picture. They treated him like a fiend. The last thing is, he lost millions in sponsorship and endorsement deals. Nike is still backing her. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
it's a lot of good with this.
It's a lot of good with this bad. It's just you just gotta take it as this is unfortunate. She'll learn from it. She can be a world champ next year. She'll be 25 when this comes back around. Still be young. She'll get her moment. She'll get her chance. You just gotta as an athlete, you gotta just bite. You gotta eat that. As a grown person, you gotta eat that. I know it sucks. I'm not telling you to throw stones at her. You definitely want to do that. You don't want to treat her like they did Michael Phelps. Don't throw stones at her. Don't berate her and try to act like you're high and mighty. But but you gotta just take it for what it is.
I like what you said, bro. Because at the end of the day, like you just said, it's reality. It's reality. But when you really put it out there, it's reality.
It's the reality you living, man.
The rules were the rules, and also it's one thing.
It's not a secret rule either. It's like, fam, if people are making it seem like people are making it seem like they threw this out of nowhere just to spite her. It's like, fam, no, this was already here. That afro, that cap, that wave, that swimming cap afro. Now that's some bull.
Yeah, and the only thing that, like, I feel both points. Cause I really feel your point because it's actually real. That's true. That's reality. And I feel the other point in which is just like people are so much monetizing off of this.
Yeah, it's hypocritical.
It's very hypocritical on kind of both sides. So it's like you just don't know how to make it. And she's just such an amazing athlete. So people are just reacting so soon and so sudden, not knowing, not even like processing the information, like more so like what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, let's be real. The reality is that these rules have never changed. These rules have never changed. That's why I said in my opinion, it needs to be updated. Things need to be updated because, the world is changing. Everything is changing, but also you gotta understand that this is not just in the U.S. This is the Tokyo Olympics. We don't know what's going on with things over there, and the rules haven't just changed. And his point with Michael Phelps is a perfect point because that's what happened, and they treated Michael Phelps poorly for a long time until he had to really revamp and win again.
28 medals, man.
And good thing about Sha'carri Richardson, and shout out to her, like, she's only 21. She's only 21. The ceiling is so high.
And there's more track events each year, like leading up to next year.
Right.
Next year's the world champ.
And what Gabby Douglas said,
the world champ.
And what Gabby Douglas said, I really respect it too because it's more so in your sentiment too. It's just in the space is just like why boycott when you have so many other. And it's not just about race. You don't want to put it like that. But Sha'carri Richardson, she is black. So she was speaking to that point, okay? So just understanding that it is a lot of other black women, black athletes, a black man all athletes that are really pushing to get this gold in the Olympics, not just basketball, you know. And let's not just focus on that. So it's other people that want your support, and which is a word we spoke to earlier, that want your support.
Yeah,
So
if I'm Gary Douglas or I'm Simone Biles, I don't want people to not watch the Olympics. I want people to support me.
End of the day, for those who talking about what we had to realize is just not about race, but also a lot of the supporters that have been talking and coming out are celebrities of color. And those are really backing Sha'carri Richardson.
Her whole school behind her.
So her whole school, everybody's behind her. So it's not just about race, but it's just like what Hugh was saying about the earlier conversation we had about one gotta go. The support is really what matters, because that's as we've just seen on social media. It was a racist rant. I know it's a little off, but it was a racist rant from a fellow gentleman, white Caucasian dude who was talking crazy in the community to one of the black brothers and saying that you don't deserve or belong to be here. And the support is what got him sent to jail, because he was wrong and having a hate that was considered almost a hate crime. So everybody supported him. That's what we want. That's what we need as a people. You don't want to keep on making it about race, but also it has a lot to do with our people coming together, especially within this conversation with Sha'carri Richardson.
And the last thing I want to say is I've seen a lot of there's been some slander towards the young lady who won 4th place. I don't know how you go from coming 4th place, you get to be the person that gets selected. That's right off to me. But there's a lot of hate, you know, for her getting the spot, and then, you know, she said, you know, Jesus made this way for me, and people are upset about that. Listen, one, you know, what happened to Sha'carri does not, you know, give you the right to slander what this young lady is getting ready to do. You don't need to slander her. And secondly, I'm never going to tell somebody that Jesus didn't put them in a position. You know, Jesus moved folks out the way all the time for you. He'll have people make mistakes and put you in certain places. Now, if it was like a rule that was like clear, like if they said, athletes with long nails can't win the race, and then she's like, oh my God, Jesus did this, I'd have been like, all right, come on now. But it happened for me.
Like you just said, she wasn't put in that race to even get 4th place. She wasn't put there, she earned that.
Yeah,
so
like I did.
She earned the fact to be there.
I'm never going to tell somebody that Jesus didn't do that for them, because like it happened for me. I remember my old job, you know, I was in this new preschool room, and there was 2 folks that were already there. They were there a long time, and I didn't think I'd be there that long, and I thought I'm just gonna play the background, and it is what it is. But God has sent me there for a reason. He sent me there to be in charge. And so after my first week on the job, those two ladies made a mistake. They made a mistake. When you go outside, you gotta make sure you have all your kids. And they left one kid inside. And when that happens, you know, you can't work in that section anymore. You either lose your job or you gotta work in that section, and you can't work in that section anymore. So now these 2 made a mistake. I come into work, these 2 are now out. The only other girl in there is part-time, and she's not fully cleared. So who's the next person with full clearance and authority?
Yeah, so
me. And you know, but God put me in that spot, and I mean, the rest of that story is a whole testimony that I won't get into. But you know, but God put me in that space because it had to be me. You know what I'm saying? So He had those two mess up so that I could be put in front. So I'm never going to tell somebody that Jesus didn't do something for them. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to see any hate go out to her. You don't have to slander somebody else to uplift somebody else.
That's a fact.
You know,
that's about. So with all this sports talk, man, let's resume, man. Master P's son, Percy Miller, man, signs a $2 million deal after NCAA changes their rule, man. You trying to go back to school?
Heck no.
Because I know everybody that plays sports as an athlete looking at this in almost disgust.
The Fab Five.
You know, like the Fab Five.
Zion.
I don't know who you want to. You can name a plethora. You can name so many. Reggie,
y'all better run him that Heisman back, Run him that Heisman
back. Even Miles Bridges, he just came out and said he was he almost got suspended or did get suspended for $40 worth of lunch, in which he got taken out. Man. Come on now. So, man, just to speak to Master P's greatness, man. Master P's greatness. He's called it and he already said it. He said it and he put it in forth. Man, Percy Miller signs a $2 million deal, man, after NCAA changed the rules. So now these athletes are really in gaming of their lives, man. This is just a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And honestly, it's a long time coming. There's been so many NCAA games. They ruined the games for us, the college, the sports games, the football. Just because, you know, you got to think about it. It's really mind blowing. Like such as institutions, like I know we want to go to the smaller ones, but let's go to the big ones real quick. Alabama, and what they bring in revenue to that football team. Just think about it, and not just football. We just pointing this out, but with that football team in Alabama and how many times they won, just think about all the players that came through there. And not a cent or a dime they probably never have received.
And a lot of them college guys is broke, man.
And
I think Cam Newton got kicked out of his school.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy because
like,
all they're
I
trying to
can't
do
even eat.
is survive.
Yeah, I can't even
But
eat.
you're eating off of me bringing all these fans to this arena.
And most of these guys, they come from nothing. You know, they getting paid to go to school, but it's like, yo, like my mother ain't got it to freaking send me money to school. You know what I'm saying? I can't work and play football and be this great athlete and all this. And you like you know, so it's like, but you making money off me. I've always said in the entertainment field, you gotta pay the folks. If you can't make money without persons like that, you gotta pay the folks. You know, saying within rap, you know what I'm saying, record labels. Listen, you have nothing to sell if I don't make an album.
Yeah.
And if I don't make an album, and you need me to make an album so you can make money, you need to pay me.
Yep.
You gotta let me, I need to be making, 15% of something I created is ridiculous.
Yep.
You need to pay me. Same thing with the Def Jam game, you know. Rappers don't want to do the Def Jam game no more. Cause they like, listen, that's why I'm bringing it back. If you ain't finna pay me for my likeness, you know, you keep it.
Sure.
Same thing with the NCAA, like, if I don't play ball, then the school can't make as much revenue as they make it if I choose to not play ball.
Sure.
You need me to play ball so you to make money. So if that's the case, you gotta pay me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I've always said, in the entertainment space, if your revenue is predicated off people's likeness and their ability, you gotta pay them folks. You know, they ain't working for free. You know, and I know people will say, "Oh, they're getting paid to go to school." Like, yo, that's not enough. People, unless you paying for their room and board and you paying for them to eat.
And what people don't understand about these athletes, just like making it to the next level, but it doesn't really matter because a lot of great athletes have stopped in college because guess what? Injuries, and guess what? They don't have anything to back in or any money to put up or any money to save them from not. And a lot of these people are in scholarships. Scholarships have been taken away. Scholarships have been detrimented just because that person have been injured, no matter how great they are. Right. So once they're injured, they hold no more value.
Exactly.
So
you selling my jersey in the store.
Exactly. You selling my jersey in the store. So that holds all that value to the school, but it doesn't hold any value to me when I'm actually the one who's giving the team value. It's ridiculous.
Man, Zion Williamson got Jay-Z to come to a game.
For sure.
Jay-Z walked into that arena just to watch him play. Like, that doesn't happen if Zion Williamson is not there.
Right.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
You gotta pay him. Like, he's selling out your arenas, he's selling out your seats, he's selling out your merch. He's getting big time celebrities to come to the games. You gotta pay him. You gotta give him something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because like you said, anything can happen. Anything. And you spent all your, and as soon as I'm done, you ain't care nothing about me. And it's sad, and it's like, yeah. So this is great. You gotta start paying guys for they like this. Yeah, man. Shout out to Master P.
And once I'm about to say,
2 million. Sheesh. I know. Is this son that raw?
No, he's tough. He's tough.
He gotta be 2 million.
He's tough. And he actually put in the work. I actually followed them on social media. They put in the work, man. And Master P, another one to do it, man. He continues to be a legend and an icon.
2 million is no joke.
Come on, man.
And everybody's not guaranteed, even like before this rule change, like everybody's not guaranteed to get the Nike deal. You know what I'm saying? Like Zion was fortunate to get the Nike deal while he was in school, and like the Sha'carri Richardson, she got the Nike deal while she's still in school. Like everybody ain't that fortunate, so it's like, all right, well, at least I'm still getting this Nike check. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but everybody's not that fortunate. So you definitely want to get there's a certain point in time in athlete's life where you want to get as much money as you can get it. While you can run the fastest, jump the highest, perform your best, you want to get all the money you can get while you can get it, while you're still at a level and they're going to pay you for it. You know, like Nipsey Hussle said, I want everything that's mine. I don't want nothing I'm not entitled to, but I want everything that's mine.
For sure.
So,
everything. So, man, with them moving forward, man, shout out to the NCAA changing that rule. Shout out to Master P. Shout out to Percy Miller, man. And shout out to all the athletes up and coming that needs to receive their likeness for their name. So we're moving forward, man. This is just you choose, man. This is you choose. Which is the most challenging to you about adulthood? Is it time management or is it money management?
I'm gonna go with money management. I think I got time management down pat for the most part.
I'll say
I'm not that busy.
I'll say
right now. So
it go hand in hand. That's why it's a tough question. But I would say money management.
Yeah.
Just because when you become an adult, bro, like the money you had to set aside for just certain things and having an understanding of what needs to go where. You know, having bills, how much you want to spend.
Plan ahead for this, like
and
that.
what I tell my students all the time within my course, you have to understand what a need versus a want is. That will change your life. It will change your life because if you understand what you need instead of what you want, you're gonna go very far. Because the wants is gonna be there. The wants are gonna be there. The needs is what you need to keep going and to continue to be great.
Facts.
Because I'm sure it's been times where my brother right here, he probably, wanted the game system, wanted the PS5, but guess what? That need is game shift.
Bro.
That need is what I need to put in game shift. I'm sure it's been a pleasure.
I could have took a stimmy check and bought a PS5.
But he could have easily done that. And I could easily have I could have easily go out, buy clothes and do everything for myself. But guess what? My son needs things. My son needs things. This podcast needs things. So it's about focusing on what the needs and wants are. So I would say money management. I feel like a lot of people can and will say time management too, because without good time management, you cannot make money. And without good time management, you're not gonna have the wherewithal of where your money is going. I'm telling you, because with time, everything moves so fast. So man, that's a good question right there. Make sure y'all go comment below. Time management or money management? That's a good one. And lastly, man, would you rather relive the same day for 365 days or lose 2 years of your life?
2 years of my life.
You lose 2 years of life?
Yeah, because 365 the same day, every day, you're gonna lose your mind. Yeah, you may not know how much you're missing in the 2 years, but you can still pick back up on life, and every day after that will still be different. But every day for the same day, like forever, nah, fam. Like that's crazy.
I got same day for 365.
That has to be great. That has to be a great day.
I got same day. The only reason I say that is because, hey, honestly, with repetition, if it's the same day, and like you just said, it can be an amazing day. Just continue on repetition, because if you lose 2 years of your life, you don't know where you're going to be at in your life. At least with the 365, and I'm reliving that same day, I know what's about to happen the next. Within 2 years, I miss 2 years, I wake up, the whole life can be changed. The whole thing, especially with things that's going on with global warming, I can think it's not real if you want. You can think it's not real if you want. It'd be 50 degrees and be 96 the next day. So who's to say if I wake up and this world ain't in turmoil?
You're gonna be living like two distant strangers.
So I mean, it's just gonna be you. Just gonna be a stranger to your own self, looking in the mirror. But that's a good one, though. That's actually a good one, man. As you already know, Thursday 5 p.m. Eastern time. As you already know, man. Much love, man. Another great episode, my brother.
Appreciate y'all.
You already know, man. Much appreciation, man. Make them subscribers go up. Make them likes go up. Make them shares go up. So, man, let's get it. Much love, guys.